Welcome back to another edition of Elevate Your Grind, brought to you by the Cannabis Lab. I am your host, Todd Rosales, and we are still live here at the Benzinga Cannabis Capital Conference. And I think I've gotten that right one time out of 14. The conference is very lively behind us. I'm still dealing with the distractions of being in a glass fishbowl, but I have a great guest with me today, Dan Firtel, the president of TRP Co. Dan, thanks for joining us again.
Todd, appreciate it, man. I think it's the third time, so appreciate you having us.
It is. You are slowly becoming one of the most repeated guests because we really don't have people back on too often.
Hey, as an honor, man.
I think I like 3 or 4 people.
I'll take it. I'll take any likings I can get.
It's great, man. And I know we talked to you the first time when you guys had just made the announcement to come to Florida and starting to make those plans and everything else. We talked again recently when you opened the first dispensary in Florida, and that the opening was absolutely incredible. Yeah. I've been down to the store, and now you guys are starting to expand, and I'm really excited to see what Cookies is doing in Florida. So the next store is opening, and I'm very happy to hear this. I'm going to have to Google it in Orlando because my family and I are Disney annual pass holders. Awesome. And we're up in Orlando often. Sweet. And I will tell you the one thing that makes Disney more enjoyable to me as a parent is smoking weed before I go.
Yeah, the weed, maybe a little mushroom, something rather. But I think with kids, probably weed's a little safer.
Yeah, it's luckily my wife and I always tend to get a hotel with a balcony, so we have the morning routine. She gets the kids ready, we get them out the door. I stay behind, I smoke my joint, come down, meet them at breakfast.
I'm on your page,
and then we are off to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. Orlando, we're super excited about. That'll be our second store. We're waiting on final inspections and all that. We should be open in the next week or two.
Okay, cool.
It's just day by day, but we'll be putting out an announcement pretty soon. Super excited for store number 2. We've already started delivering that exit Orlando area. So a couple days a week, we're delivering to Orlando and the DeLand area. And we a lot of really cool things happening with us, though. We've got hopefully another 4 or 5 stores by the end of the year. We now have a lot more biomass. We're introducing edibles to the market. We'll have cheaper extracts, cheaper flour, still going all solventless route with the resins and rosins. New genetics, 5 new genetics hitting the market this month. So good stuff happening.
That's awesome, man. The thing I love about it too is, when you hear Cookies coming to Florida, Cookies is a very strong brand on its own, right? So all of a sudden they come in, you think you're just, and there are other brands that have come here, I won't mention them by name, that are doing this, that it was just going to be Cookies and their products, right? But not only are you guys bringing the genetics that everybody's used to, bringing the experience that everybody's used to. Like I told you last time, I went to the dispensary and I'm like, oh, it's a Cookies. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's that consistent experience that you get with, say, like sleeping at a Marriott or a Hilton. You know what you expect, right? You're bringing other notable California brands with you. I know Dr. Green Thumbs is coming down, and then you had mentioned other brands that you're bringing into your store, and then other exclusive, celebrity lines as well too. So it's great to see that.
Yeah. So we, in the next week or two, we're dropping Latin Lingo with Be Real from Cypress Hill and Dr. Green Thumb brand, which is a partner of TRP. And we've got some stores rolling around the country with them as well, which is super exciting. But on the Florida tip, that'll be just the beginning, dropping that strain, like I said, hopefully the next week or two. So super excited to get the doctor down to Florida, man. He's got a lot of loyal fan base down here. Add a little splice of some excitement. We also have the Gumbo brand, which is like a New York street brand that's kind of new on the scene. So we actually dropped them last week. The Madison Square Gumbo, that's in our store in Miami. And got a few other things in the works, but yeah, like you said, I mean, we're trying to bring, obviously Cookies has their family of brands, and then TRP, we've got other brands we're bringing to the table, and really trying to create something unique and different for the Florida market, focused on genetics and just different things that you can't get in other dispensaries, and trying to offer that always while keeping quality first of mind.
It's great, a company like you guys coming in and bringing that flavor that you have from all these other recreational markets and coming in here. Like Florida for the longest time was this sterile, rigid market that didn't make sense to anybody. And I understand the medical designation and having a card for it, but it was just so foreign to people that were used to cannabis in general. You go into a store, even if you're going for medicinal purposes for a particular ailment, and it didn't compute. It felt weird. You guys were coming in and bringing that traditional experience. Because when I went out to California, Colorado, anywhere that had a recreational market, which is more inviting because people that aren't sure if cannabis is right for them can go in and talk to somebody. So in theory, it actually is probably better for patients than recreational or medical. And then that's another story and another fight for another time.
Yeah.
But bringing this flavor and bringing this experience that's familiar to Florida not only do I love to see the innovation that you guys are bringing, but I also think you're pushing the market forward in general, and you're making it better for everybody.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, there's a few groups out here pushing the envelope with quality, which is super exciting. Everyone's kind of come on the scene in the last year or two. So we see, like I think I said in the last episode, I mean, it's been about as good as it's ever been for the Florida patients.
Yeah.
I'm got a lot of respect for some of the other groups putting out really top quality flower. Obviously the illicit market is kind of where the most competition lies in Florida when it comes to the higher end, more connoisseur quality. And obviously, they're getting straight imports from California and whatnot. So it's tougher to compete with that. But I will say the newest flower we put out, it's gotten better and better and better. And I'll put our flower up, with a lot of California flowers. So we're dialing it in. We're not quite there. We did just give ourselves we're very hard on ourselves, and we got ourselves the first 10 out of 10 rating from our QC team in DeLand, which is, a 10 is a 10 in Florida or California or Colorado or wherever. So that was super good. We've always been kind of 8s and 9s, and we did hit the 10 out of 10 with the cereal milk, which just dropped as well. I smoked it while here. It's incredible. And we just hope to keep pushing that consistency.
I need to see the 2-gram blunts make it to Florida, man.
Yeah, so I know that I got to figure out when that's coming and all that. I know that can't do infused things here yet. But I think we should be able to do the blunt. Yeah,
the blunt. You know what it is? I don't know what it is like. And just for we're getting into my own personal experiences, and I'm great at making this show about me. Is you have, and I said to somebody, I said, if we were to go outside and smoke a joint right now, we'd smoke it, like a cigarette, like a bunch of dock workers, flick it away. It's something about those larger, the 2-gram blunts, the hemp wrap style, that it's a different experience where you're able to kind of lay back and like smoke it like
communal
a cigar and really enjoy it.
Yeah. Either to your dome and you're just getting latered, or you're passing that thing around for 20-30 minutes with the friends. And so I like smoking the blunts. I'm more of like a joint smoker myself. The blunts are I've never really been a big blunt guy, but I can see why people like that. Tons of smoke. They burn for a long time. I like kind of that pure flavor and just really getting that thin paper vibe. But like, it's to each to his own.
It's funny. I abandoned regular, so I'll do the hemp wraps and everything that a lot of the pre-roll companies have in California. I abandoned blunts in college.
Yeah.
That's when we did
It's not too good for the lungs.
Until recently, I found a company called Brothers Broadleaf out of Tampa.
Nice.
And they are the sons of 3-generation cigar makers. And they literally roll fine Nicaraguan cigars with the intent for it to be unrolled into a blunt.
Nice.
And it's a high-end cigar that is designed essentially for weed. And it is phenomenal.
That's cool, man.
Brought me back to being a blunt guy.
No, that's totally cool. I love a good blunt every once in a while.
It's for the special occasions
for sure.
So Dan, I love to see what you guys are doing in Florida. How's everything going nationally? How I know you're bringing other brands. You're putting a lot of focus on Dr. Green Thumbs as well as cookies.
The nationally is going well. California is going really well. It's our home base. We're expanding into Michigan with stores with Dr. Green Thumbs, which is super exciting. Hopefully, summer, fall, we'll have our first store hitting in Michigan. We're super excited about our partnerships out there between the cultivators and our retail partner. We're not quite ready to announce everything, but it's A1. So we're coming correct to Michigan, and I cannot wait.
Michigan is, to me, I got to go up there and check out that market because it looks like it's
good,
very mature, and it looks like it's got a lot of great products.
It's competitive, and that's why we took our time. We've been looking at Michigan for the last few years, and we were going to do it on our own, but ultimately, because that was such a competitive market, we really wanted to enter in with the right guys to ensure that we're successful and really get our brand story out there. So we got that dialed in. From a connoisseur quality standpoint, on the rec market or the legal market, I'd say Michigan is right up there with like the West Coast on quality and innovative genetics. They're almost like a cousin to the West Coast, so to speak. And Florida's got their thing going too. Huge cannabis culture out here. But Michigan, they got it going on out there.
That's interesting, man. I love it. Cookies to me is almost like an indicator of where I should shop if it's not a cookie store, right? So if I go to a market and I might not be near one of your stores or you don't have one there, I'm like, all right, well, who carries it? Because I know
sure.
I know because I know you and I know the standards that you guys have. So
No, I appreciate that, man. You know, it's there's a lot of average weed in the legal markets in all these different states, and it's just kind of getting, you know, even probably more in that direction than a lot of people would like to see. So we're trying to fight for that legacy guy, that those genetics that are innovative, and just people that actually care about the plant versus just trying to, you know, put out a bunch of like booth basically. So we're trying to go away from that direction, lean into the quality, lean into the genetics, lean into the brands that have been doing this since before it was a thing. So that's really our business motto.
Really cool, man. Well, that's awesome. So you have the Orlando store opening up next. What else can we look forward to in
Yeah, so
Florida?
Florida, we're gonna kind of keep leaking out different markets for delivery. So ahead of opening stores, we're gonna start hitting those markets with delivery. We're gonna keep expanding the days of the week that we deliver, and just chip away at the state to make the products more accessible. We've got Gainesville coming on, North Miami's coming on, Jacksonville, Tampa. So like by the end of the year, knock on wood, you know, hopefully we're at like 5, 6, 7 stores, all across the state, drivable to pretty much anyone within an hour or two. You know, and then we're going to be striving kind of start pushing to that 20 location mark by the end of next year,
Nice.
following year.
Very cool, man. Well, Dan, it's always a pleasure to sit with you.
Todd,